Welcome to the end of a glorious story, and the absolute madness I've been through. Welcome to the final part of this campaign. The Senate has agreed on the proposal of Yellow Hurricane that there should be more conquest in the north. And JKGCJHP, holy shit, what a name, was committed to the long-term future of the empire. Since this is the last episode, I really wanted to end the series with a bang, and you will now see if I managed. I started by converting as many vassals' children as possible to the Roman culture, but that was relatively beside the point, since I had a big rebellion breathing down my neck that threatened to erupt any moment. But with diplomatic skill and a bit of money, I managed to please them, and could further concentrate on the Romanization of the northern territories. And it was also time to start the main action of the last episode, the expansion. I wanted to conquer as much as possible, and what better way than a wall conquest? That is a mad goal, but I wanted to try. And just as I was about to get started, a civil war broke out. Seems like the money I gave them was not enough.
Oh shit, here we go again.
In several battles, I was able to destroy the rebellious vassals and managed to win the war. The captured vassals were stripped of their titles and were declared enemies of the state. After that, I checked on my throne room for the final time, before laying all my focus on conquering. For real, I don't think I opened the throne room again for the next 2 or 3 hours. Instead, I started to conquer India, and pushed in territories never seen before. What a nice animal. Wait a minute. While I was conquering the eastern wall, the Germans still tried to free their lost territories. One of them even challenged me for a duel, which I won, of course. But the attack of the Germans could not go unpunished, so I started several invasions and conquered and burned their land. Later, also securing the Black Sea under Roman rule. During all this time, the Numidian Empire in the south went through a crisis and collapsed in the end. And that's where I saw my opportunity to strike. After several conquests of African kingdoms, the emperor died. And as soon as his son was in charge, the northern uprisings began. A time period where most factions in the north tried to regain their independence. But the emperor fought them in many wars and ended up victoriously in the end. Meanwhile, a large part of the empire was under Roman. Meanwhile, large parts of the world were under Roman rule. The empire was large, but far from beautiful. Look at that, I mean, what the fuck? And now, guess what I did to change that? I made diplomatic, just kidding. Of course I waged wars. And this time, centered in Western Africa. And then, I caused one of the biggest rebellions ever. By accident, I lost Constantinople to a vassal, and my revenue dropped from 800k to 300k a month. Now, several years later, I felt it was time to take the city back. I expected a little resistance at the most, but instead, the entire empire suddenly conspired against me. And I suddenly had to fight against a combined force of nearly 800,000 men.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, I guess I could, oh my god. Except Arisha, oh my god, what the f***, England is best country ever.
I hardly had a place to raise my troops, and I wanted to siege Constantinople as quickly as possible, and thus occupy the war goal. But when I saw that Rome was almost conquered, I dared an absolutely daring attack to save the city. And well, I was a bit too cocky, cause I had not experienced such a crushing defeat in a long time. Now I tried to raise all my troops and only fight individual split-off generic armies. But I absolutely failed. I still believe that I could have won the war, but at that moment I was just too confident of victory and lost. The defeat resulted in Priscus II being removed from leadership, and his son Priscus III taking control. Relations with my vassals were worse than ever after this war. I wonder why. However, I did not let this affect me and continued to conquer new regions. The next years I spent almost always fighting wars and pushing forward in new territory. Because I felt bad for Priscus II, I put him in charge of a random kingdom, but thus lost place as the head of the family. Nothing major happened, and so I continued my conquest, making really good progress, and it was at this point that I really became confident about the planned world conquest. But that was to change very soon, as rebellions started to pop up and made it hard to continue. Besides, my frame rate sunk to about 20 to 30 FPS, which also was a huge pain. And it was at this point that I entered a call with my Praetorian Guard, Babsu, which some of you already know from my Discord, to get some emotional support, because my mental health was in danger, really, which you can perhaps also see from the following conversations. We held a motivation speech.
And for my next trick, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Oh my god. With this mental support and absolutely mad conversations, I continued the conquering. I conquered the eastern... Is it the east? Yeah, the eastern part of the map.
Eastern part of the map.
The most eastern part of the map.
The eastern part of the map.
Yeah, the Mongol invasion is
Mongol invasion.
can't happen anymore because I conquered that territory. Let's fucking go. I'm so hyped. Yay.
You're so high.
Yeah, I'm absolutely high, bro. I'm absolutely high. I'm
Bro's mentally
I'm mentally in a very good shape. Yes. And during this conversation, I had the absolute fantastic idea of executing my whole prison with all 211 prisoners in it. Among them were children, women, but I didn't really care.
If you meet Satan, dap him up.
One of them is a 0-year-old boy. He's dead. Oh my god. Oh god, I think I'm dying. My stress level is like killing me. Holy shit. Yo. Through this, my stress level exploded. And the opinion of my vassals was, let's say, not the best. I could watch my kill count rising for like 5 minutes. Then our nonsense talk and the future conquest continued.
Like, don't just learn on plotting, yo.
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing? Yo, I'm Dr. Doven Smurfs. Because of all the negative reputation and opinion about Priscus, it did not take long for huge rebellions to show up. I had no chance of avoiding them, and so wars followed. But through tough battles, which I won, I could win against the rebellious vassals. And also continuing the conquering. Years later, it was only India that was missing, but I had enough. So Babsu convinced me to play some Fortnite with him. Like, no joke, that was pretty funny. I haven't played the game for like years. And actually we won a round. Let's go. And then I got back to work, conquering the last parts that were missing. And in the end, I managed to conquer the world. Guys, it was an amazing series, and I really enjoyed the effort of some of you guys in the comments. Let me know if you want more interactive campaigns like this in the future, and thank you all very much for watching. I'm Dr. Doven Smurfs.